There is a slightly more conceptual way to think about this, but I think that my dumb brain just takes over here, and I recognize that I have an equation and I have a point, and so my strategy is to plug points into equations. I don't really think about it more deeply than that. That's my habit. If I see points in equations, unless I have some reason to think that that point does not work in that equation, does not fit, does not belong to that equation, I'm just going to do it. So they say here for the linear function h, b is a constant, h of 0 equals 45. What is the value of b? So what this really means is this is the point, x being 0, y being 45. So let's just plug it in. 45 is equal to 0 plus b. Well, 0 plus b is just b. So that's it. B is 45. We're done. Now, some of you might have realized from the start that this is really a line, y equals mx plus b. They even used the same letter b. They didn't have to, but you can see that we have a line. It's got no exponents. That's another thing that makes it a line. Now, there's no m in a way, but remember there's a 1 in front of that x if we want it to be there. So this is a line with a slope of 1, but an unknown b, an unknown y-intercept. And what do we know about every single y-intercept? That's where x is equal to 0. And that's exactly the point they gave us, is one where x is 0. So there's a version of this where some of you are just going to say they're asking for the y-intercept. They gave me the y-intercept as the point. How convenient. Let me just solve, and that's that. And that's great. That's awesome if you saw that. I think that's actually really good. There are going to be lots of cases where they're maybe talking about these important landmark points like y-intercepts, but they're not doing it in a very straightforward way. And it's important for you to kind of recognize what they're giving you. But I also think that there's a benefit to just being lazy sometimes, and plug points into equations is a very lazy strategy. The name of the strategy is the instruction. So I'm generally always thinking along those lines. If I can just get a point in an equation, I'm going to plug it in and see what happens. Even if I have no idea what's going to happen, it's probably good for solving the problem.